What's going on, guys? It's Greg from East Coast Eyes, and I hope everyone had a great weekend. I hope you guys got out there, got some wall in, took some shots, did some GBs, played some lacrosse, and then took a little relaxed time to watch some football on Sunday. We actually had a wedding. Ben, Mike, and I were all at a wedding at which I was the best man on Saturday, and then Ben and Mike got to go downtown in Baltimore and see the Blue Angels, which I'm sure was sick. Unfortunately, I missed out, but same thing, it was really fun. So great weekend here for the East Coast Eyes, guys, and today we have a really cool video for you. So we have a head that I'm sure a lot of you have seen, but have probably not ever had one or used one or checked it out because it's pretty old. They didn't make a ton of them, and they didn't sell a ton of them either, but this is the STX Arrow, sent to us by our friends at String Cannon. They sent it over just to see what we could do with it, and I was more than happy to string one up and check it out. So the STX Arrow was released a long time ago, and it has a very particular look and a very odd face shape. And the main reason for the head was to try and get around the rule that heads had to be 6 inches at their widest point. So what they did is they took the widest point and moved it down a little bit and had the head drastically go out to the 6 inches and then drastically come back in, so you would get a head that's essentially as narrow as possible, but it still meets the 6-inch requirement. So definitely an interesting concept. It would probably work out better in theory than it did in practice. In the end, it kind of ended up just being a little quirky and a super weird head, but definitely a cool idea, and always fun to watch companies kind of push the boundaries and try something new. So can't blame them for that. So it wasn't in production for very long and is a little odd, and people kind of wanted to see one because people said it reminded them of the new Epic Hawk. So here we have it, the STX Arrow. So the way that this works makes it a little bit difficult to string, just because you get these really funky outsets and a really narrow pointed scoop. Makes it a little unusual, and what you get is kind of an effect similar to the Shenango top string that everybody has seen and went crazy for a little bit. Now it's kind of died off, but so what you get is the top string starting all the way down here and getting pulled really to a point at the top to really help increase that channel. So I found that the head actually strung pretty decently, and because of the way that that works, pulling the top string down very far, having that pointed scoop, it actually gives you a really nice channel, which I was surprised by. It really wasn't very hard to string, just a couple quirks to work out. The main issue is that it lacks a lot of sidewall holes. So you can see, I mean, the size of the gap between these sidewall holes is just insane. Makes it really difficult, so I had to span it with a triple up just to get that pocket right in the middle, and then finish out with ones. But in the end, ended up with a really nice mid pocket with a great channel, good definition, and I think it actually is. It throws really well. You know, I was really surprised. I thought it was going to throw straight into the ground, or I wasn't really sure what I thought was going to happen, but it throws perfectly, and I was really happy with the way the pocket ended up working out. So just threw in gray and black with black striker, black and red striker East Coast Mesh, some gray shooting strings, just 3 street to keep it nice and smooth, mid pocket with gray in the sides and gray in the throat, and pretty much love it. I don't think it'll ever be anything I use in a game. But you know, definitely cool to have around, and was definitely fun to string. About the arrow a little bit, so it is a surprisingly flexible head. You can see I can pull it completely in with one hand. I think that has a little bit to do with the plastic that it was made with back when it was made and the overall construction, but it's a little flimsy despite a lot of sidewall connectors. It's also very empty in the throat, which you don't often see. You can see full holes in the side, big hole in the front, and a really big hole in the back. So I imagine that was a problem, is breaking in the throat where the shaft is attached. But overall, really fun head to string. One interesting thing about this head is that it was really good for sidewall stalls and tricks, because it pretty much has 2 perfect rails. You can see that the sidewall is really inset, and it's got these 2 rails that run up here that make it perfect for catching it, nice and wide, even, and flat. So if you're looking for a stick to do some sidewall stalls on, this might be the one. It was pretty cool. Probably one of the main drawbacks to this head, after using it for a little while, besides the stringability, is ground balls. Because you get this super narrow scoop with these really aggressively flared in sidewalls up here at the top of the scoop, it's a little hard to aim just because you have so much less surface area to scoop. It's really rounded, not flat at all, so you kind of got to pinpoint it right in the middle. So it was a little harder to scoop, but I did find that it actually was pretty easy to do Indian pickups with, so not bad. Cool, but overall, definitely a fun head to string up, fun one to play around with, and looking forward to sending it back to our friends at String Cannon and seeing what they have to say about it. So make sure to like this video if you liked it, subscribe if you haven't, and have a great day.